Good evening, Manchester City have just beat Bayern Munich 3-0 and it was absolutely immense. A wonderful performance, full of desire, determination, just immense ability, basically. It was absolutely just fucking brilliant. I've got about half an hour to do this before I've got to get to bed because I've got to make sure the little guy doesn't get too disturbed. But that was just brilliant. Genuinely sensational stuff. Yeah, just astonishingly good. This is a fan view live, by the way. So you guys can have a chat to me. Patrons and members can have their say. Patreon login, you'll see the link in the usual place. And likewise, YouTube members, you can click the link, of course, that I've just pinned to the top of the chat if you're a member, and you can have a chat with me. I've got about 5 minutes per person tonight because once again I have not got along because family stuff and all that. Trying to get the babies poorly to sleep. Anyway. I'll just quickly edit Scott in. So, Scott, I'm going to bring you in, but you won't be on the video yet until I edit you in the background, if that's all right, mate, because I need to do that. I will be chatting to Scott in a second. Honestly, this is going to be cathartic, I reckon, chatting about tonight, because City are that level good, They really are. And I am excited by this Manchester City side because you should be excited too because City tonight were just phenomenally good. Right, Scott, I'm going to come over to you in a second in 3, 2, 1. How you doing, my friend? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
I think that's
you can't hear me?
Am I doing this right? This might be my fault. Hang on.
Yeah. Hello?
Hang on.
Yeah,
yes, this is definitely my fault. I can't hear for whatever reason. Let me go around. Where are you there? Can you hear me, Scott? Can I hear you?
Yep. Can you hear me now?
I can. There you go. I had my mic turned down. As simple as that. I broke my mic, so I've made up a little stand to hold it, and I can't get to the things. Anyway, Scott, my man, how you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm very happy. I am very happy, Scott. That was fucking good, mate, wasn't it? Talk to me about that performance.
It was unreal.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it well in your post match reaction video. Just like from top to bottom, it was a well put together just performance. I mean, everybody was fighting for each other, and I think some people were saying like referencing the Paris Saint-Germain game as far as like the defensive effort, and I would have to say like I mean, it was one of those games where you're just like, man, I think you were saying like they got that dog in them kind of thing, and they were definitely just going all out for the team right there.
Where does this rank in terms of like the greatest Manchester City Champions League performances? Because this is Bayern Munich, man. It's 3-0 in the first leg of Champions League quarter final. Is this one of our best, if not the best?
I mean, I would say it's up there. Going into it, I mean, I was confident. From what I mean, you know me, I'm always confident for City, but I think there's a lot of people who are nervous going into it. But I mean, our current form, I just didn't. I was confident that we were gonna at least come away with a result. I think I said 3-1 was my prediction, but no, I think definitely, I think we definitely, from top to bottom, I think that was one of our most complete performances as a whole. Complete like team rankings.
Absolutely. I mean,
or ratings.
This City side feels different, doesn't it? Like it's a very different Manchester City side to the one that we've previously experienced with the Guardiola. Is it different enough? I mean, does that? I mean, obviously you heard me waffling about it on the match reaction, but you know my views on that. But do you think I'm onto something there in terms of it feels different but more suitable for the Champions League compared to previous teams?
Yeah, I think it's definitely starting to just show where before it was, Guardiola kind of molding previous players into his formula, and now this whole team is basically, I think there's a couple still people from pre-Guardiola, but you can see it in the tiki-taka and the way that they're playing, and you can see that it's almost instinctual. There was a couple times where like people, the ball was coming to them quick and they only had like a half a second to like react, but they just instinctively knew where the open man was and they knew to just like that ball in that direction. And I think, it's shown as time has gone on since he's been here, that it's gotten better. But I think now it's definitely starting to just completely influence games as a whole because, I mean, the best defense is just possessing the ball.
And of course, as well, the best defenders are also physically impressive and imperious. And that was such an assertive display from Manchester City's defenders. Like it was as much about their ability, but also about the physicality, wasn't it? Like this is a physical Manchester City side, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, we didn't even, I mean, I wouldn't say this was like one of those games where we definitely defended by possession. I mean, they had more possession than us, I think. But
Yeah.
no, I think definitely. I mean, you see Diaz and you see Stones. I mean, they're tall kanji, and I mean, all four of them I think are over, like all have to be over 6'6". I would say 6 to 6'1", right?
Yeah. Well,
They all, I mean,
the big
yeah.
big boys,
Compared to
man.
Kyle Walker, and I'm pretty sure Zinchenko used to be way smaller than 6 foot. He's
I
not
think
6 foot,
Ake's
is he?
only about 5'11" actually, but he's one of those things where he's just
Is he?
yeah, because I've stood next to him and he's a similar height. I feel I felt taller than him actually. I'm not a tall guy at all, but he's one of those things where he's just so physically impressive, and he's got such a good leap and
Yeah.
stuff, and but he's also strong as anything, strong as an ox, and so
Yeah.
he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go on,
Go
please.
for it. Yeah, no, I was gonna say that I think yeah, he's just bigger than your typical like wing back or like right
Yeah,
back
yeah.
that I think most people are used to going up against.
He's our first choice left back now, obviously, but like, do you see Guardiola essentially just sticking with this now? What's working in the Champions League? Because over the years, there's always the sense of him changing it and trying new things, but I can't see any reason for him to change this. Can you? Like, I feel like it's just going to be the same thing. Like I feel like he'll just stick to it in the next leg and then the Champions League. Like, will it be the same formation now for the next leg?
So I think I mean there's that great expression, if it's not broke, fix it. But I think I personally think you shouldn't. I mean the way that we're possessing it, unless a key piece gets knocked out, then I don't think that you should. I mean the way that they're flowing, the way that John Stones is moving into the midfield, the way that Ake like presses up when he needs to. I mean, it's just so fluid right now
Yeah.
that I think you want to just keep it rolling. At least with the back four, especially. Obviously in front with the more creative players, you can kind of interchange them a little bit more to keep them all fresh. But I think that back four, as long as they're all fit and healthy, I wouldn't try to make too many adjustments as of now.
Absolutely. And Scott, I'm going to go for everyone for a few minutes because there's so many people waiting
Yeah.
to get on. Are you comfortable for the second leg now? Are you confident it will go through?
Yeah, no, I think that they that was why I was gonna say I'm not sure if they'll do the same thing just because we have 3 goals. They might try to play a little bit more defensive, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm confident.
Scott, no,
Thank
love to
you.
leave you, mate. Thank you so much. I'll catch you.
Yeah,
I'd love to chat longer, but I just can't because of the time of day.
no, you're good. Have a
Catch you
good
in a
one.
bit. See you later. Scott, absolute legend there. I'm going to bring in Liam. Liam, if you are ready to jump on, mate, let me bring him into the chat right now. Hang on.
Whoa, hi.
Hi, Liam. How you doing, man? You good?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can indeed, mate. Whereabouts you calling from, man?
Stockport.
Of course you are. You're a Manchester City fan. There you go, mate. Thank you so much. Good to meet you as well, man.
Yeah, good to meet you.
How are you feeling after that, Liam? That was a fun night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Although I feel a bit gutted with myself because I feel a little sour about the missed chances, and I know I shouldn't, but I just do.
Well, we're always going to miss chances, mate. I know. I guess we've been burned because of previous years. But what I would say is, I don't think we missed chances in the way that we previously missed chances. If you know what I mean, where they were like sitters, like where like Jay-Z would hit the keeper from 2 yards. You're like, what are you doing? Like we actually matched our expected goals tonight, which I think is all you can really ask, isn't it? I think it was 2.8 and we got 3 goals, so we slightly performed above it. But Liam, it's 3-0, man. Don't worry too much. It's scary though, isn't it? But go on, what was tonight built on? Who was the standout for you personally?
It was amazing to see Stones perform the way he did. He's always great anyway, but a lot of people questioning whether Walker should play or not. I was full Stones, and he did exactly what I wanted. He was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he deserved it. He deserved to start Stones, and like he's that role that he's got, John Stones now. I don't really see. I know it sounds cruel, but I don't really see a way back for Walker. Do you? Because it's such a unique role, and Walker can't do that. Walker's brilliant, but he can't do that role, can he?
No, well, Pep said it, didn't he, as well? I think his role just more progressed to being in the back and helping more with his veteran side and leadership. As long as he stops messing about.
No, but he's not a bad backup either, though, is he? That's the thing, man. Like, it's like,
oh yeah,
bring him on if we need someone to lock down a winger for the last bit.
Exactly.
Were you surprised by the score line tonight? Like, did you expect this, or was it a bit of a shock to you?
I expected a City win, but I would have been happy with a 2-goal difference. So the clean sheet as well is just fantastic. And the defence being that solid as well, you can't help but think that will be like that at the Allianz. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I can't see us shipping 3 goals. If we are going to, I can't see us not scoring at the same time. It's just like what difference has Haaland made to this team? Because obviously we've got the goals as well, but it feels like more than that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I noted on my little receipt paper that from the beginning of the season, I've luckily been able to go to a few games this season. You always saw Haaland's hunger. It was always there. It's just who he is. But that's just transferred to the rest of the team now. It's absolutely amazing. And Pep's found his happy players.
He has. He's infectious, isn't he, Haaland? That's the thing is, but if you're going to be infectious, it probably also helps that you're infectious and 6'5" and a giant, because everyone can see that infectiousness. Like, it literally, you can see him from every part of the stadium, and he's got such a physical presence and obviously such a charismatic personality. It's hard not to be led by that, isn't it? To me, I think it's not just his goals. He could be on 25 goals, and I still feel like he'd have so much to us. Add so much to the team. He's on 45, but 25. But I think it's more than just his goals, isn't it? It is his presence, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, well, to quote Rory, even with 15 goals would have been a great season.
I saw him recently for one of the videos I do with the AA stuff, and I was like, how are you feeling about that, man? He went, yeah, probably the worst take everyone's ever had about football, ever. I think he's been for his worth. I think he could be the difference, mate. I saw his stats. I think he's got 33 goals in 25 Champions League games, which is just... That's remarkable.
It's stupid. You've said it a few times, and it's true. Me and my nana just laugh now when he scores.
That's all you can do, isn't it? It's like, it's not normal. It's not normal. Liam, I'm so sorry, man. I'm going to have to move on to someone else if that's okay, just because I've got to get through everyone because there's so many people. But it's a pleasure to chat to you, man. I'll catch you again very soon, okay?
Yep. See ya. Thanks.
Top bloke, Liam. I'm going to get to Kevel. Kevel, are you waiting there, mate? You good? Jump on. Gonna bring him into the stream. There you go, man. How you doing, mate? You good?
Hi.
You good?
Can you hear me?
I can indeed, my friend. How are you feeling there right now, my friend? You good?
I'm great. I'm great. It was a fantastic day just to watch that immense performance.
It really was. Where were you at before this game in terms of your current mood around this Manchester City side? Were you confident going into this game? Were you?
I think I was confident, but I wasn't like. The confidence was it will be a tight game. Yeah, it won't be 3-0. I thought it would be more like 1-0 or 2-1, something like that. But just immense performance from all of our players, and even Pep with his tacticals.
What'd you put it down to? I mean, does Pep deserve all the credit? Is it because?
Oh, not well. Players did really well. I think the one-on-one defending, Akanji and Ake on both sides. I mean, they get a lot of stick from our fans, but they're like so good defensively that it's just impossible to get to the middle. And when you get to the middle, there's like Rúben, Stones, Rodri just sitting there waiting for you to tackle. So it's just like impossible to get through to us. That's why Bayern took so many long shots. Yeah, they didn't have chances.
Do you think that was intentional? Do you think that was a tactic of theirs? Because obviously, I feel like they tried to target Ederson because his shot stopping hasn't been his strongest attribute.
Right.
I felt like Leroy in particular felt like he was going.
Yeah, exactly.
Ederson. And it didn't work. Of course, he had a fantastic game, but I mean, the stats show Bayern having like 4 shots on target, but they were pretty much all long range efforts, weren't they?
Yeah,
I can remember.
Except like 1 or 2 where Leroy got in behind.
Oh,
but that happens.
That was their biggest chance, wasn't it? The Sane
exactly.
one. And that even then, that was not like a clearest 1-on-1. It was more like
it was a half chance.
Yeah. And that's
but
impressive,
I mean, it's Leroy Sané. He scores that 9 out of 10 times.
Well, we saw that, didn't we? Against the famous Liverpool one where on the counter.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Like, it's weird that Cancelo and Leroy are on the pitch tonight, and as good as they are, I didn't miss them. Because this City side. What makes this City side different compared to the others?
I think our system, is different than any of the previous seasons. We play with the 3 defenders. I don't think we can. So with Haaland being up top as a pure number 9 and not dropping deep, we have to have someone covering in the middle to have the extra body. That's why we put Stones there.
Yeah.
But then we get caught out on the wide. So Pep has really good defensive fullbacks that can cover wide and can also produce somewhat going forward. Like they can hold their own. They might not like dribble past five people like Cancelo and score a wonder goal, but we got wingers to do that. So
Is it more balanced? Because as a result, I mean, like I think to win the Champions League, you need that kind of defensive stability. Because
yeah, I mean, as Pep said, our scoring goals wasn't problem.
yeah,
It
right.
was conceding. So today was like defensively, we were just blocking everything, we were tackling everything. And then once I get a chance, it's Haaland. It's going to be a goal.
He's fucking great in here. I love Erling Haaland, mate. I love him. You obviously hear me chatting to Liam, but like he does make such a difference, doesn't he? Like I feel like
absolutely.
there's a real confidence. There's like, do you know in the way that I've chatted on the videos before, which you've probably seen or seen me on Twitter, when I said there's a comfort with Rúben Dias on the pitch, like because he's just gonna do what Rúben Dias does. I feel the same about when Haaland's on the pitch. He's just probably gonna score. And like that's both comforting for us, but terrifying for everyone else, isn't it? Like the feeling knowing that he's just going. I never even felt that with Sergio. As much as I love Sergio, I never felt like he was definitely going to score. And like Haaland is just what? How must Bayern feel facing that, man? They must be terrified, right?
It's tough. It's tough for everyone. And I saw a video on Twitter about some fan just posting a clip, and it was after Rodri scored. Everyone went to celebrate with him, and then Ruben collected everyone in a circle and was talking leadership.
Really?
Like be aware, mark your players and stuff like that.
I didn't see
just
that.
I'll send it to you later, but it's just like that leadership at that age of 25, holding everyone accountable and also doing his part. Then from that we can build forward and attack, and with our star attacking players, Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Haaland will eventually score. And we haven't even seen Phil Foden. He's yet to come back in.
And that's pretty. I mean, you bang on, man. It's quite a terrifying prospect, isn't it? It really is.
Of course.
I'm gonna have to leave it there, man, and jump on to someone else.
No worries.
Kevin, it's a pleasure to chat to you, man, and I'll catch you very, very
You too.
soon. You too, man. See you in a bit. Sorry, I'm going for everyone in a few minutes just because there's such a bunch of names there. So I'm just trying to get through people one by one before I inevitably retire to a dream of Manchester City's tonight. Naz, I hope you're there, man. Waiting. I'm going to jump over to you. Bringing you on stream now, my friend. How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Talk to me about Manchester City 3-0 Bayern. Go on. What do you want to say about tonight?
Yeah, that game was just perfect. Like before the game, I was surprisingly confident because I've never been confident before such big games.
Mhm.
I was, for example, Liverpool, I was very scared, but I don't know, I was too confident this time. I was telling anyone who would hear me that we're going to smash them, and then, well, we did.
I love it, man. I love it. I was confident as well. Like I'm a relatively confident person, but I mean it was based on what we've seen recently, because this City side, there's a real kind of aura about them, isn't there? Like how many wins is that? 9 wins in a row now. How you know? I've chatted about tonight a lot, but how are you now feeling about the general Champions League run? Like, what was your opinion when the draw came out, and has it shifted on the basis of tonight, or is it still the same?
So when we drew Bayern and we're generally on the harder side of the draw, I'm generally confident, but I was a bit nervous as well. But seeing our form recently, my confidence has just been growing over time, and today it was at an all-time high, and well, it was deserved. So I feel like this is our year. I've been since that Arsenal Liverpool game, I've been thinking we're gonna win the treble. So
mate.
let's hope so.
And you know what? It's weird, and I'm always trying to be so calm with these things, but I wouldn't be surprised either. There's something about this City side, like I feel like they could do something really special because I feel like no one expects them to, and I think they've got so much criticism throughout the season. Like I don't know, I would not be surprised if we just pissed off everyone. Like Arsenal fucked them off, and then
only a couple of months ago we were thinking if we're gonna win any trophies and we might be out of the title race and all of this. Now I think we're gonna win every game till the end of the season, and we're gonna win all 3 trophies.
And just that's a big claim, man. I fucking love it. I love the energy. But does the team pretty much stay the same then during that? Like, does he make any changes, or is it essentially what we're seeing right now on the pitch?
Pretty much, I think for some games maybe Mahrez can come in, but generally for Champions League, I think this is the team because we need the pressing of Bernardo.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Premier League for some big games we might bring Mahrez in for Bernardo or Gundo or someone. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think we can change anyone.
Bernardo tonight, by the way, Guardiola talked a lot after the game about how he's a special footballer. Just talk to me about Bernardo. Like, he was imperious, wasn't he? Like the tenacity, but the quality. He's dribbling, just so good.
Yeah, he's the best dribbler I've seen apart from Messi.
Yeah, I probably agree.
Yeah, he's just so good, and he's good at everything. He can score goals. He scored a header today, being probably the smallest person on the pitch. He can dribble, he can defend, he can do anything you want. He's just too good.
And he's ours as well, which makes it more exciting. Do you think there's any chance he could stay if this City side keeps improving?
I honestly don't think so because he's been wanting to leave for too long, and every season we do well, but then again we hear rumors that he wants to leave. So I have a feeling sooner or later he is going to leave, which is sad. But
well, hopefully we'll win the Champions League with him. That'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? Naz, before we go, second leg prediction, score.
Second leg, I think we'll win. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
I will take that, my man. Good night, man. It's a lovely chat to you. I'll catch you in a bit. See you later,
All right.
Bye-bye. I'll take a 1-0. 1-0 will be absolutely wonderful. I'm going to bring Pete in right now. I am flying through these guys, but it's because I want to get through everyone tonight. And also because I only slept for 3 hours last night, and I absolutely am running on steam. Running on steam? Is that a word? Is that the saying? Running on... What's the saying? Running on empty. That's what I am. So steam. I'm not a steam train, for fuck's sake. That doesn't make any sense. Right, I'll bring in Pete now. Pete, are you there, my man? How you doing, Pete? You good?
I am. I'm good. You're running on fumes.
Running on fumes, that's the one. The irony of not being able to get that is like... I mean, that proves it, I guess. It does. Pete, I'm very happy, Pete. Are you very happy?
I am indeed. And it's always great to be on a FanView Live because that typically means something really positive has happened.
Yeah. It's the only time I get the energy to do it these days when I've got like a baby who never sleeps. I'm like, I've got to go on because it's too big not to, Normally I'm just there like, just too exhausted. But yeah, I mean, something very positive happened tonight. How positive was this? You know what I mean? Like, how does this? Is this where does this rank in terms of Manchester City Champions League performances?
Probably one of the best that I can remember in the not too recent past. An absolute dominant performance from start to finish. I kind of mentioned it in the chat right after the game. I thought Bernardo was one of the best players on the pitch tonight. Just his energy, his, as you just mentioned with the last person, the dribbling, the heads up play, the being in the right spot. He brought an energy that I think carried the rest of the front line tonight. And another person that, I know you mentioned in a couple of tweets and I had brought up in the chat as well was, I honestly think, that game as well as we played could have been slightly different if Ederson wasn't on his game. He made some incredible saves tonight.
You really did. And Ederson stepped up, and I think you need him to, by the way. I don't think there's a single big Champions League game you can win, a big one, without conceding the odd chance here and there. So that's why the best teams. So when we look at Madrid beat us because Courtois was immense, and it's going to be the same. And you have to have big moments from you. Where we Ederson, where were you on the Ederson scale, whatever that means? Because he's not obviously always been a favorite for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest frustration with Ederson, if there are some for me, is that he makes mistakes when the pressure isn't high. He seems to lock in. Like tonight, there was a few lock-in moments where he, was laser focused on a couple of those Sané shots and things like that, and just was in the right spot, made the right play. But I think, when there's not that high pressure and he gets a little lax with the ball sometimes, I think those are my biggest complaints about him overall. But
Yeah.
I still think to this day is a great signing for us, and I think he shows us time and time again why Pep picks him for these big games.
No, absolutely. I mean, he was absolutely laser focused tonight, wasn't he? I think they all were, to be honest. Akanji as well, another man who gets a lot of criticism, and he was absolutely immense. And Akanji and like that back line, you don't change it, do you, for the second leg? I mean, it'd be stupid, right?
No, not at all. And one of the things that I was kind of thinking about when I was backstage waiting to come on is, I think the thing that not only is it's strategically as Pep can be a genius, but I think he's one of those coaches and managers that understands you can't have a system and then force players into a system. The best way to do it is to evaluate your roster and say, what formation works best for the talent and skill sets that I have. You saw it earlier in the season when he was tinkering with Rico Lewis, playing that midfield spot from the right side. And then obviously when Stones gets healthy, we all know Stones is a good passer and is, quality on the ball. And obviously if the later you go into a season, when you're chasing down Arsenal, when you're trying to win the Champions League, you're going to play your veterans who have, more experience and things like that. And so, could he flip that and play Ake in that same position? He probably could, but Ake's not quite as good on the ball going forward as Johns is. So it makes sense to have a formation and base it off of, the skill set that your players can demonstrate.
Absolutely, man. And I think Stones, to be honest, as good as we knew was on the ball, has even gone up another level again. Like he's been watching that role, from the sidelines a little bit, and saw how Walker approached it, and Rico Lewis approached it, and he's just mastered it. To be honest, he's got the physicality of a Walker and the intelligence of Rico, so he's a perfect.
He really does,
isn't it? It's
absolutely
very, very exciting to watch. It really is.
And he's imperious going forward. Like he doesn't worry now. Like the old John Stones, where we all remember some of the mistakes he made, 5-6 seasons ago. Like that's not the same John Stones anymore. He's completely secure in who he is as a defender, knows what his capabilities are, and he doesn't have that panic in his game anymore.
Absolutely. Pete, prediction, second leg?
2-0 us. We're gonna just put it away. Yeah, no, we're not giving up a goal to these guys.
Do we beat Madrid or Chelsea?
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
We're gonna win it, aren't we?
This is the year. You heard it here first. This is the year.
I actually think it too. I'm always scared to say it because I've got a bit of a platform and that. Like I'm scared to say it. Because I know it'll be thrown back in my face. But I actually think we could win it this year. I genuinely do. And I'm gonna put a thumbnail that says that at some point, and I'm gonna get fucking destroyed for it. But I believe it.
We're all gonna back you, Steve. We're all gonna back you.
Hey, catch you in a bit, man.
Wonderful night.
See you later. Bye bye.
Absolutely.
Legend, absolute legend. Michael, I'm going to come to you if you are there. Michael Grasso, I'm going to jump over to you. Are you there, Michael?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. How are you, Michael?
I am good. Sorry for the no camera.
Hey,
I'm
mate,
house sitting.
I
don't have my webcam.
Tones, that's all that matters to me. Michael, Manchester City beat Bayern Munich 3-0. How good does that feel?
Amazing. 3-0. Like, I don't know if anybody predicted that, but if they did, then good on you, because I never would have expected it.
I predicted a win, I was confident, but I didn't pick 3-0, man. I thought we'd be like a 2-1 or something like that, like a 1-0, something like that.
You'd think they'd at least get a goal, right? With
they're too good, aren't
the
they?
attacking.
Yeah,
right. It's.
But Rúben was right, wasn't he? Rúben Dias, man. He said, look what we've got, because he talked about all the players they've got. By the way, I decided to. You won't see it, but I just wanted to tag Bayern Munich in my match reaction tweet. Just like really childish. Yeah. I just want to, for whatever reason, because the City bullied Bayern tonight, didn't they? Physically, by the way. Like
they did completely.
Could City do that in other years? You know what I mean? That kind of performance tonight. I mean the mentality of it. Was City capable of it?
I don't think so. It's like a good example is after we got knocked out last year, the whole team was just getting called was soft, no spine, no backbone, no. What was the word everybody used?
Just in general, I can't remember the word, but generally a bit soft, like
Exactly.
Bottle of
That
spice.
was the general tone they put to this team when we got knocked out last year, and then to see them come out this year and just completely bully them. Akanji in particular was just knocking people over. All the wingers coming down that flank were they were on the floor at least 3 or 4 times throughout the match, just saying like, you're not getting past me. Like, you're gonna have to go through me if you want to get in behind or something like that. It was
That matters, doesn't it, in this kind of competition? I know it sounds mad, but there's an element of like the Champions League. There's sort of like an alpha maleness to it. You have to be the big dogs, don't you? You have to bully other teams. Real Madrid do it. Barcelona have done it over the years, and you do have to be stronger, smarter, and more confident, don't you? Than to beat them. It's not all just about ability, because you look at the great Barcelona side. They still had people like Puyol in that side, who's he's an absolute warrior as well, and they all worked they all worked tenaciously. Like, does this City side have that that aura about them as well?
Well, this might be a good question to ask. What's scarier? One singular incredible forward, or a defense that you just absolutely cannot see your team scoring on?
So we have both.
We have both.
It's quite scary, that, isn't it? It's quite scary, and I guess maybe you're right there. Maybe the point is, like, the team will look at us and go, oh, they are definitely going to score, and we are definitely going to really struggle to score because they're all fucking bastards, defensively. It's a quite potent combination, isn't it?
It is the winning combination, in my opinion.
I think the way I feel. How do you feel about the league, by the way? Because obviously we talked a lot about Champions League tonight. Like, do you think we'll catch Arsenal? Or was it a bit too late?
I do.
Okay, you do.
I do. Yeah. It's. I think just the mentality that team has, and I get that they have Zinchenko and Jesus from us who have the experience winning titles, but is 2 players really enough to instill like that calmness and sort of that perseverance to get through those last couple games through the entire squad? I just don't see it.
No, with all due respect to those two, they're not Rúben Dias, they're not. They're great. Zinchenko is quite an emotional fellow, and Jesus, as much as I loved him, he missed a lot of chances for us, didn't he, in big games? Like, he did. Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to be the guy to. Maybe he could do, because he's obviously done it before for us, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's just when things are going wrong and the game's against them, who's the player in that team to step up and lift the rest of the team?
Exactly.
Is it Saka? But he's not really. I mean, I've seen. He's obviously an incredible player, but I've seen sort of in the big games where it's not just as easy as you'd like, him kind of slip away a bit. As a good example is the games against us, where he was sort of just locked down on the right side, and he ended up getting subbed off, I think, in both games.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be their talisman, that their star boy, as they like to call him. So
it's impressive, isn't it? It's impressive. Michael, how far did we go in this Champions League?
Oh my goodness! The last time you asked me this question, I said I wasn't getting my hopes up, but now, how could I not get my hopes up? It looks like we're gonna do it. It really does, and we say that every year, but you have to keep believing that it's the year.
It feels different. I can't explain it. It just feels different. Michael,
you have to keep believing regardless.
So we beat them by I guess it's Real Madrid next. I guess you think instead of Chelsea.
Most likely.
I think so. Napoli in the final, maybe, or something like that. Napoli would scare me if you got to the final.
That scares me. That really scares me. Because a one-off game with those kind of players, it's like, oh.
Their vibes, and that team.
Yeah, just complete vibes. And there's that now that the Napoli manager hit back at Pep for saying they're a great team and said it's mind games, and then Pep said, oh, he's gonna overreact. There's that whole dynamic now with the managers.
I think Splitting actually came out today and praised Guardiola's. I think he actually kind of realised he's probably been a little bitch. So I think Guardiola's just kind of gone like, what, I don't care anymore about anything. I'm just gonna start. Anyway, Michael, I'm gonna have to leave it there if that's all right. So it's been a pleasure chatting to you as always, my friend.
Pleasure to chat with you as well.
Mate. Good night. See you later.
Take care.
Right, I'm gonna bring in Louis if you are there, my man.
Hello, my friend.
How you doing? You good?
buzzing, absolutely buzzing. It's incredible.
Take it away.
Incredible.
Go for it. What do you know about tonight?
No. I have to say it in the way he said it again after the Southampton game. Incredible.
Yeah, incredible. It really is,
Yeah.
man. Isn't it? If things have changed in the City side, and I don't see us slowing down. Do you?
I was just looking on the game, and it's just like it felt exactly like do you remember the Arsenal game at the Etihad Emirates earlier this season?
Mhm.
Yeah, it felt like that. Like the first half, it's just getting to know how Arsenal were going to work and how they would like have their tactics. And Pep was looking at it, and the team were just like, okay, we do what we do, and if we get a chance, we'll try and take it.
Yeah.
Like De Bruyne's at the Emirates, world class. Rodri's name me any DM ever. I don't mean just now, ever, who does what he does in the moment that he does. I actually said it with a good friend. I hope I meet him soon. Like he said, like best DM in the galaxy. I said no, in the universe. Rodri. He's the Tony Stark for whoever Renza everyone loves. Mine's Spider-Man. He's that like Rodri is that good a player that he's the player I wished Fernando was back in the day. I wish Fernando was. It's like Rodri is that good.
Do you know the highest
I
praise
love
given,
him.
mate? The highest praise given. If he carries on this way and he stays there for a long time, he could overtake Fernandinho, which is all. If he carries on, which is
A controversial opinion. I think he's already passed him for me. Fernandinho had the legs, like he had the legs the whole time, and Rodri doesn't have that. He needs to have that nous and like knowledge in his head. Asan says it a lot. Like it's between your ears, and Rodri, he's clicked so quickly, and it's just like quicker than I think. Like Fernandinho was incredible because he could get to positions that you think, nah, surely not. Rodri he just has something else. He has something else, and it's criminal how underrated he is. He should be talked about in such a high remark. I love him to bits, and everyone who said from day one, like I saw people like, really, like respect to them for saying what they said. And Rodri's just, I can't praise him enough. He doesn't get his colours. He really does not get his colours.
No, he doesn't, man. Like I was on Saturday Social, and I was talking about.
Oh my God! No, do not say his name. He does not deserve a sentence. The other person. And you know why? Yeah, but no, I don't mean him. I mean, yeah, I can't say, but
Rory,
yeah.
you know Rory.
No. I mean. Anyway,
sorry. The player, yeah, the Arsenal player, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't talk about him.
Yeah.
Horrible person.
Yes,
but I think
exactly.
Even then, without that, he's not as good. So I'm sorry, Casemiro, and none of them are as good as him. He's the best. In my opinion, he's actually the best.
The only one I actually thought came close to him was on the opposite side of the pitch tonight, Kimmich.
Kimmich's quality.
I think he was like I like Pep turned him into the player that he is, and I don't think I've ever seen an interview where Kimmich has said, "Oh, I deserve my who I am because of Pep." I don't think he's ever said it.
Oh, I mean,
if I can't remember,
I have no idea. But we all know it's because of Pep. That's the thing. Like Kimmich, I mean, to be honest, man, like you watch how good some of those Bayern players are. And you think, what would the legacy be of some of the? We talk about Kimmich now, but imagine the legacy of Rodri and people like that in a few years from now. Like Ake, what he's becoming, because they're still going to get better. That's the thing. As good as they are now, they're going to get better stuff. And that's a scary thought, mate. It's a scary thought.
The most scariest thought is, and this is the player I wanted to come up to, is the World Cup winner. And he comes on and he makes the difference for us tonight. And to put it on top of that, 14 million. Tixi, Ferran, Omar, whoever else is on the board, they don't get their praises enough for Julian Alvarez. He's that good. Like I've loved him since day one. Like imagine him, and we get Enzo. Like I still hate like that whoever it was who said we could have got Enzo Fernandez for 10 million euros. 10 million euros for 105 million pound player now at Chelsea. He's
we got Alvarez, man. We got Alvarez, and do you know what?
Yeah.
We don't want as much as it's been Enzo, we're all right. We're going to sign someone else, and we'll be absolutely brilliant. Louis, what's your prediction, man? What's your prediction?
And I have to say it all the way. This is like I never thought. I always went with no Pep team could go like what Barcelona did back in the day. But this reminded me of the 3-0 Barcelona over Bayern Munich first leg at the Camp Nou when Messi scored those two outrageous goals. Yeah. It just felt like that again. Bayern just tried to get at us, and we like Diaz, Ake, Akanji. Like I was sus about him being at right back tonight, but he had that dog in him tonight. He had that dog in him tonight. All of the defenders, everyone for a man.
He did indeed. On that note, I'll catch you in a bit, man. See you later. Bye-bye.
Peace.
I just definitely went to an old VGC template then from when I used to do video game videos. I'm going to bring in Tenzin right now if you're watching. Tenzin, how you doing, man? Are you...
Really loving life?
I bet you
can hear me?
Man. I can hear you. Sorry, I've just the tiredness is kicking in for me because I made some editing mistakes there. But you're on now. Tenzin, this Manchester City have just beat Bayern Munich 3-0. Is this a statement performance, or did people already know we were that good?
Oh, they know it, and I think most of the neutrals who watch some other games, Champions League games, Bayern games, they know that Bayern are not that good. They center forward, the other center forward, I forgot his name, but he has been in absolute dreadful form. So that's why they put Gnabry in there. And Bayern only look good when they play against slow defenders. If you look at Bayern's front line, Mane didn't start, but Mane didn't start. But Mane, Sane, Gnabry, they're all very quick. Alphonso Davies very quick.
Yeah.
There's Kingsley Coman. They're all very quick, and they look very good when they play against slow players. And Guardiola made an absolute genius move when he made Stones go to the center back and have Akanji on the right back instead.
Yeah.
Before we were doing the Stones on the right back, because Akanji is a lot quicker. Yeah. So you have Akanji and Ake, who are not Kyle Walker level, but they are both very quick. And when you have those quick players behind, their players just look awful. If you look at Leroy Sané is a Leroy Sané because of his pace. Mm-hmm. You take pace out of Leroy Sané, and he's playing in I don't know, maybe in Burnley or something. So we are, and one of the things that I've said it before on the show, what has absolutely amazed me is that Pep's team always has good players, good passing players, dribbling players, attractive on the eye. But this City team has just power and strength and height everywhere. You look at all corners, their corners, our corners, we completely dominated every single corners to a point that even when we get the ball close to the center circle, now we are actually looping it in the box.
Yeah.
We never used to do that. We would just pass it backward and try to build up. And now we're almost as if the kind of the English way where every time they get a free kick, they just send everybody forward. But we can do that because you just look at the line when they're lining up on those, from a free kick, you just see every single one of our guys is taller than theirs. And our defense was so good to a point that I just wanted to see them cross the ball in so that our defenders can clear it. It's kind of weird,
I know what you mean. I was watching
but yeah.
them winning every header, weren't they? Like, not even, it wasn't even questionable. They're winning every header. They were there. It's just watch. It's so mad when you see, because there's one point where Ake, like, they got the cross past him, but there was Stones. At one point where Ake was there sweeping up after Diaz, and then Akanji was blocking, and Stones was coming in after. It was just always a pair of them, stepping in to sweep things up. It was just cathartic, wasn't it, Tenzin? Like the quality of those defenders. It was almost thrilling, actually. The quality of the defending. The way that attacking play is thrilling, always is. The defensive quality was just. It was fun to watch, almost scary, but fun.
Absolutely. Just sometimes there's a beauty in seeing something that is strong.
Yeah.
And you look at that Rodri's header, where he was
point.
like in this second floor, like it looked like the Cristiano Ronaldo's jump.
Yeah.
Like he was like way above everybody.
Monstrous, wasn't it?
It's like, how you defend against that? Because okay, you want to defend against that, but then who's gonna mark Haaland? Who's probably even would jump even higher than that? Like you can't defend against that. And we just looked. The whole game just looked so incredible. But I do think that we're gonna go through. I do think that Real Madrid always can do something stupid, make the game. One thing, I think the rain actually did not help us at all.
No.
I think in the first half the game looked closer than what it should be because of the rain and the wind, because we couldn't play our passing game.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, this rain is very stupid because there might be lots of tackles, lots of yellow card, maybe a red card in there, and then we might somehow, screw it up. But in the second half, the rain went away, and then also the Bayern's chances went away as well, because we got into our game. Hopefully De Bruyne is okay.
I think he is. I think Guardiola
other than
said it was just tactical that went off for.
I think there is a world where we win every single game. I think there is a world.
I don't think it's crazy to say that either. It just feels like it's very possible. If not all of them, every game but one maybe. Which is quite scary, Tenzin. Tenzin, mate, I know it's only quick, but I'm going to get on to Dave if that's all right, because I'm just trying to get through everyone tonight. But
awesome.
A pleasure
awesome.
chatting to you as always, my friend. Catch you in a bit.
Thanks for having me on.
Bye-bye. I'm going to jump over to Dave now from Ultimate. I know that Dan's been waiting around an awful long time as well, which is, I feel bad for everyone waiting. But Dave, going to bring you on, man. How you doing, Dave? You good?
Pretty good.
Where are you calling from, man?
So I'm from India, but I live in Colorado now.
Where am I? So, Colorado?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Nice. I don't think I've heard of Colorado before, I don't think. How is it out there? What time of day is it in Colorado?
It started getting warmer a bit, but it's still a bit cold, I guess.
What time is it in Colorado? I have no idea.
It's 4:30 p.m.
Okay, so it's nice. It's a decent time. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not 11 at night like it is over here.
Yeah, it's just my room doesn't have a lot of lighting.
Oh no,
so,
you don't need it. I mean, you've been little by Manchester City's football, Dave, mate. Talk to me about. Go for it. You take it away.
Oh yeah, sure.
You jump into your words.
Yeah. So before we talk about something, I just want to say, talk about Rúben Dias. So when Rúben came to City, he was a rock solid defender, but he wasn't a ball playing defender.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like Laporte or Stones. And right now, I think he's the perfect ball playing defender. He's put that into his game, and he's bettered that about himself. And I think that is. And if you remember when we were playing Nottingham Forest or Everton, we were dropping points when Rúben wasn't there.
Yeah.
And now that he's come back into the team, he's pulled the defense together. Our defense is a clean sheet against Bayern Munich today.
No, I didn't name a son after Rúben Dias, but it definitely
helps.
I
get that.
Helps. It definitely helps. That
Yeah,
he's brilliant. I was like, Nicola told me to bench. She's like, I love the name Rúben. I was like, but then I do love Rúben Dias, so I can get behind it. I think this is one of those things where it's like he embodies every attribute that you'd want to teach a kid as a parent. Anyway, you're like, resilience, work rate, composure, but positive as well. He's
leadership.
He's leadership. He's positive. I love that. I love people who are assertive, but also he's positive reinforcement. He's not like he's not a castigator. He's a come on, slap me on the arse, get going kind of thing. And he's. Oh, I just don't think what we're doing
so good.
Possible without him. I don't think it's possible at all without him. And I think he might be. Do you know what? and I love Vincent Kompany. He's like I name a channel after him. But sometimes I think like Vincent Kompany in this team, I'm not sure he would work as well as Rúben Dias because I think you need a certain kind of captain for a certain kind of players.
Yeah.
And I think Vinny was a fucking bang everyone head together. And I think sometimes you need the kind of captain that Rúben is, where he's more of a cajoler, you know, like in general. And like I do think he's more of a 2023 captain than Vinny could have been. If you know what I mean?
I get that.
Because football's changed, hasn't it? Football's changed. You know, Vinny's a bit more old school that way.
Yeah, that's true. And then I think if we played like this the entire season, we would be first in the Premier League. But we are behind Arsenal right now, and I think the major reason is that we were adapting to playing Haaland as our number 9. Yeah, going from a false 9 system to adapting for Haaland. I think in the middle of the season when we dropped points against Forest, Everton, and stuff like that, we were still Pep was still trying to figure out how to play Haaland in this team, because he doesn't usually touch the ball that much. If he touches the ball, it's a goal. That's for sure. But he doesn't touch the ball. And now that we have found the system, you can see how well we're playing.
He's involved as well, wasn't he? A lot tonight.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people say this, but oh my God, Alvarez has to play with Haaland in the same team. If you saw that tonight, as soon as Julian came on the pitch, Bayern just gave up the game. He was so good. His crosses were so good. His corners were so good.
He's like the KDB replacement now, isn't he, at the moment?
I know. People say that he's a...
He's like, at the same time, the backup to KDB and Haaland, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, people say that he's only a striker, but he's so much more. I think he's a great player.
How do you get him on the pitch every week? That's the thing, isn't it? Because Foden's got to come back in, or Mahrez, or whatever. It's just, I mean, it's a lovely dilemma to have because he's so good.
And and the fact that Grealish is playing so well. Everyone's playing so well. Rodri, Grealish, De Bruyne is back in form. Haaland's great. Rúben Dias, Johnston. It's pretty. I'm so happy. I think this is the season where we go all the way and win the Champions League.
Well, Dave, everyone thinks
I don't think there's a club in world football right now that can compete with Manchester City.
That is a perfect way to end this little chat, Dave. Thank you so much for the lovely little line there. And I'll catch you very, very soon, mate. Thank you so much for the support the channel.
See ya.
Catch you in a bit. And finally, I've literally watched Dan head home all the way through this. Dan, I've been watching you. Dan was right at the very end of the green room bit. I saw him on the tram, getting off the tram, and how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I started on my voice is gone because on that second goal, I absolutely lost my
Dan
mind.
Was at the game, by the way, so
I started trying to jump on. I was on the tram just outside the ground, and I've literally just walked in my house and I finally got.
I'm sorry about the way, man, but it's like I just go through numerically whoever jumps on first. It's the best way to do it, fairest way to do it. Thank you for waiting around. I appreciate the patience, man. How you doing? How was it there tonight in the ground? Was it good fun?
The atmosphere was absolutely insane. Because I think the Bayern fans did get a little bit loud, and that just spurred everyone else on even more. Yeah. Half I was watching the game, half I was watching the fans just absolutely go at each other at that end. But I was listening to everyone else, and being at the game is different to obviously watching on TV because you get to see certain little players
of course, definitely.
Close up. Akanji was right in front of me that first half. And you've got Alphonso Davies and Coleman, two of the highest rated players on the planet.
So hard, isn't it?
Just running into him, and he just stood there like, what? There was one point, I think...
Sorry to talk to you very briefly, but that's such a fucking good point that no one has talked about online. Someone's like, he got skinned by Sane once. He had Alphonso Davies and Leroy Sane running at him 24/7. How hard is that, Dan? It's so hard, isn't it?
There was one moment, I'm pretty sure it was Coleman trying to go past him, just ran right into him, hit the deck, and Akanji just stood there looking down at him. I wish someone got a photo of that exact moment. It was the most "and what you're gonna do" moment I've ever seen.
But that's the point, is like people forget how hard it is to do that, don't they? Like they're like, oh, you made a mistake once. Like, do you know how fucking good footballers are at that level? They are insanely good, aren't they? They're just ridiculous.
14 million. We got that boy for how much again?
Mate, it's ridiculous. And like, And I'm glad you said that because Akanji, I know he's made the odd mistake here and there. I know he has, but I'm not an idiot. But once again, he deserves the same grace period that everyone else gets. A year or two to just adapt to it. But once again, you're right to come back to that because Coman and Sane and Davis, the skill and pace of all those players, to get only done once is remarkable. Because they were out for him, weren't they?
And it makes it more fun. He's ex-Dortmund. Another guy I got to mention because I was watching him closely and. Grealish, Pavard was kicking him the entire game, and at one point Grealish hit the floor. I don't know if this got caught on camera, but he looks up at Pavard and just goes, "I'm coming back, and he kept pressing him the entire game. And then obviously was it Upper Meccano that made the BB that just led to goal number 2?
He made all the mistakes. He was fucking useless.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of the maddest thing I've ever seen. There was some wheelchair users not far from me when Rodri lined up that shot. Literally, a wheelchair user got out of the chair and started screaming. That is a goal. Well, that is a goal that brought disabled people out of their wheelchair. It's just wow.
Well, do you know what? I guess they need that person needed to stand up and celebrate with every little bit of energy they got, and I admire that. Fair play to them, man. They witnessed greatness tonight, and they enjoyed it.
First celebration, wild. When Bernardo's goal, the place went up even more. I think there's a thing where everyone finally started believing when Haaland got the third. From when the third went in, the whole stadium was like, "It's happening, lads! It's happening! Istanbul, we are going!"
Do you know what, mate? I think it is as well. I've been saying that on the videos for a while, but it feels different. It feels different this year, man. I know you've heard me saying that on the video for a while, but it does feel, doesn't it? It just does. It feels like this team aren't scared anymore.
I've been to past Champions League games where we've gone through, but there's been a vibe of maybe next stage as far as we can go. The whole place and the whole team's just like, no, we're going all the way. Watch Rodri's celebration back. It wasn't more of a surprise he scored it. It was just a mouthful of, and what? I will go back, do it again.
And do you know what? We've not had enough of that. And I've said it. Someone on Twitter, like the dogging the team, and a bit of dogging, a bit of fighting them. And you have to. I think every single great Champions League winning team has to have an element of quality. Of course they do, but they also have to have a bit of fucking like. We're the man kind of stuff about them. They do. Of course, you have to have bastards in your team. You have to have a fucking Rodri. Jack Grealish is going to wind everyone up. You have to have a Rúben Dias who will push everyone out of the way. You know what I mean? Or an Erling Haaland who will just get up in your face and he's a giant. You have to have that, don't you? You like to win the Champions League.
I don't know, this caught on camera, Goretzka getting right up in Haaland's face on a bit of back and forth, and Haaland just shoved him right away and just looked at him like he was a child.
You can't bully a Haaland, can you, man? You can't bully a Haaland.
You can. And, what was the other one? There's like a growing song starting around the stadium. I didn't quite catch it, but it's something about Rodri hating Scots. I'm all for it.
I have to search on Twitter for that. I'm sure it'll pop up on the forum or something as well. But Rodri, Rodri Godfrey, like what a fucking player, man. Like he's not Diaz, he's the captain for me, because those two to me are the heart. Go on.
Are you there for Leicester this weekend?
Potentially, actually. Maybe it depends if Rúben's ill or not, because Rúben's not very well at the moment. But
if you end up going, I'll try and track you down. I'll get you a bit.
Thank you very much, man. Dan, mate, I'm gonna leave it there. I know you've been waiting for a long time, but I am fucking knackered.
Yeah, it's all good.
Pleasure. Lovely to chat to you, man. Lovely to meet you as well, properly. Catch you.
Yeah, I'd love to meet you, man. Peace.
Go on. Right, Dan is a legend. Guys, I've really enjoyed chatting to you all. I'm going to get ready to bed because I am just so fucking tired. I'm so fucking tired. What a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching. Go watch a match reaction. Go and watch the celebration during the watch along. Go and revel in that, and I'll see you tomorrow for 5 Things Learned. It's going to be a good night. City free, Bayern 0. Boom.